I think Chivo is the greatest cinematographer of all time, and ever since Children of Men, he's just a genius. And I'm wondering how natural lighting works for you as an actor, how differently you have to block things. Does it affect your performance whatsoever when you're in natural lighting?
I wouldn't say it's not necessarily the natural lighting that's a challenge. For us, it was a completely new concept to, first off, rehearse as much as we did beforehand in the wilderness in these actual locations, trying to accomplish it was like a Swiss watch a lot of times. So many different departments and actors had to work in coordination with the camera work, but every single day was a massive rehearsal until we had that hour and a half of magic light. So it wasn't the magic light, it was the time period in which we needed to accomplish the day's work, and that was usually about an hour and a half, and it brought a lot of intensity to the filmmaking process. I think a lot of what you see up on screen, the intensity that's up on screen, is because we know we have to, in the back of our mind, finish the day.
Right.
So we go for it. We go for it every single day, because otherwise, hundreds and hundreds of people are back at that same location, which is hours and hours away from.
It's not like you have to find your light necessarily in the aspect of the sun, so that there isn't,
Right.
Oh, you're in the shadow. It's not really.
When I interviewed you for Wolf of Wall Street, one of the things that blew my mind was that Martin Scorsese had you actually snorting B vitamins for those cocaine scenes, which is just like insane. Like, and in this movie, you're literally having to eat a bison organ. So I'm wondering, like, when you have to do that in a sequence, does it really help add to the actual moment for you?
Let's qualify that organ was liver.
Yeah.
Liver, yeah, the liver, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the reaction is up on screen. I think that you put yourself in those circumstances. Pain is temporary, film is forever. You realize you have one shot at making a sequence look good and look authentic. That's the whole objective of this movie. That was Alejandro's motto, and the Native American actor that I was working with, Arthur, who was incredibly talented, was eating liver all day. And he said it's in his culture, and it's something that he actually likes the taste of, and my thing looked like a big bloody pancake, so I had to go for the real thing, and the reaction is up there. But I think it gave a great moment to the movie. Ultimately, I think it's realistic. That's for sure.
You two have worked with some of the greatest directors in the history of filmmakers: Christopher Nolan, George Miller, Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese. And I'm wondering, when you're in this environment within your reach, who's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, do you take anything from those filmmakers at all and still utilize that here in this environment, from a Scorsese or a Nolan or a Miller?
No, it's interesting because I think the relationship you have, for me anyway, with a director is so specific that it exists specifically for the piece that I'm working on. And the next one, it's almost like being, for want of a better word, the Spanish whore, like the private personal relationship you have with an individual director is like they're the only person in the world and it exists for the world that you're within. Then you move to the next. If you took somebody, if there's trace evidence of anything from previous experiences or relationships, as it were, then that was purely rudimentary and nothing to do with cognitive thought. So no. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense, yeah.
My director is my director. What he wants, he gets. That's it. Or she gets.
When you're filming that bear scene, and I'm not going to ask you to give me every detail, I just want to know, how are they moving you around? How are you moving?
Well, it was done on location in Vancouver. We actually went to a different location to get those beautiful ancient conifers that they had there, those beautiful trees that weren't on location in Calgary, but it had to do with a pulley system in the forest, and me flying around in the woods, basically, yeah. But I'm not, like you said, Alejandro told me specifically, don't talk too much about it because it's something I think he's very proud of. It's a very immersive sequence, and he wants that sort of movie magic to retain its mystery, so to speak.